Hello everyone, I'm your English teacher and I hope that everything is good with you and your family. Now, today, from your book The Midnight Oil, we are going to discuss a poem, Sea Fever. So, let's have a brief introduction about the poem. Sea Fever. This poem was written by John Masefield, a great poet and English writer. So, this poem was written by an English writer, John Masefield. Sea Fever is one of the famous poems known for love for nature. So, in this poem, Sea Fever, we are going to get more knowledge about nature. It was first published in 1902. This poem is about the poet's affection about the beautiful sea and its creatures. So, in this poem, the poet expressed his love for sea and sea creatures. Now, move on to the poem for better understanding. So, before I discuss this poem with you, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Have you experienced the nature the way you want? Have you acknowledged the things that we are getting in abundance from nature? Do you have a desire to go for a sea journey? If you have, now it's a time to get a little more knowledge about that one. So now I'm gonna read first line. I must go down to the sea again, to the lonely sea and the sky. So in the beginning of the poem, I here is used for the poet and he is expressing that line, I must go down to the sea again. It means he again want to go for the sea journey. He again wants to experience that things he have experienced before. Why he wants to experience again? Because it is very difficult for him to forget the wonderful days that he spent on the ship during sea journey. Now, and all I ask is a tall ship and a stars to steer her by. Now he wished to have a well-built ship to sail through water, and even he wants to take a guidance from the stars. Steer means guidance. He wants to take a guidance from the stars to clear his sea journey. And the wheels kick and the wind song and the white sails shaking. So what he wants to experience again in his sea voyage, wheels kick. So here wheels kick means the bottom part of the ship. He wants to enjoy that water waves. He wants to enjoy that fluttering wind sound. He wants to enjoy that his flag fluttering here and there because of wind. While on the land we don't experience these things. It's very obvious. So he wants to enjoy that things on the sea again. And a grey mist on the sea's face and grey dawn breaking. Mist means very thin fog. Dawn means beginning of the day. Now he wants to experience that how sea is going to clear that fog and how the day begin there in the sea, because we experience the day on the land, we don't know how the day begins on the sea, how that it gets reflection in the water. So he wants to enjoy that things again because he was so attracted by these things during his first journey. Now move on to the second stanza. I must go down to the seas again for the call of the running tide. Again he begins the second stanza with the same line, I must go down to sea again, to express his strong desire. So again he is saying that, giving us a second reason why he wants to go to the sea journey. Why? For the call of the running tide. He is saying that running tides in the sea are giving him a call to have a visit again. Is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And he is saying that the call that tides are giving me whenever I see on that sea waves, The tides gave me a temptation to have a sea journey again, and it's very difficult for me to resist that one, to deny their call. That is so tempting for me. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying. And he's saying that the second reason is that today the day is windy, and it is very obvious I would have a more windy waves in the water, and even there are pit clouds in the sky that are going to make my day more beautiful, that are going to enhance my sea journey more. With the white clouds flying, and the flung spray, and the blown spur, and the seagulls crying. Flung spray means thrown, spew means form. Now he's saying that even the birds, that seagull birds, are making loud sounds, loud cries. They are also giving me a call to have a sea journey. They are also tempting me to have my journey again in the sea. Now move on to the third stanza. I must go down to the seas again. Again, the poet begin with the same line, giving us a third reason in the third stanza why he wants to enjoy his journey again. To the vagrant's gypsy life, to the girl's way and the whale's way. Vagrant means a person who wanders from place to place. Now he is saying that he wants to live like the girls' way. Girls means a bird live in the sea. Whales, they are also living in the water. He wants to live like them. He wants to experience their life. He wants to have a journey with them, how they are living, and he wants to experience these things again. Where the wind's like a whetted knife. Whetted means sharp. He wants to say that in the sea, it's a cold days, and the wind blows in the sea is very cold, and it blows like that it's going to cut your body. So he wants to experience that coldness in the wind again. That is not being possible to experience on the land. So he wants to experience that coldness in the sea again. And all I ask is a merry yawn from a laughing fellow rover. Rover means a person who spends most of his time traveling about. And he said that in the last journey he can't experience these things fully, because to some extent he was involved in talking with his fellow being. So he missed that point somewhere. So again he wants to go to the sea journey, and this time he don't want to make that same mistake again that he made in his last journey. He is not going to talk with his fellow being. Only thing that he is going to do is to experience his sea voyages with the nature, and quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trip over. And he wants to have a quiet sleep and have a sweet dreams about his sea journey when he is going to over his journey. When his journey comes to an end, he wants to enjoy that sea journey again. So in the last line we can say that the poet compares the struggle of the sea journey with the struggle of our life again. What we experience in life, the theme of the poem is that the struggle, the challenges that we face in our life, after that challenges we get a peace. So same here, the poet says that after his journey he would have a sleep, sweet dreams after long trip. So I hope you understood the poem. Now, rhyming scheme. What would be the rhyming scheme of the poem? This poem follows the rhyming scheme AB AB. So how we are going to decide the rhyming scheme? From the last word of the poem, we are going to decide a rhyming scheme. Like again we give A. Life don't rhyme with again, we are going to give it B. Now move on to the literary devices of figure of speeches are being used in this poem. First one is alliteration. Now what is an alliteration? Alliteration is that figure of speech in which The repetition of consonant or consonant sound is being repeated in the line, in the word, or in the stanza. Like, for example, the sound of W in the line, to the girl's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. We are going to move back to the poem. Like here you can see that here in these two lines, the repetition of W, W, W sound, that is known as a alliteration. That W sound is repeated and this is known as alliteration. Now symbolism. Symbolism means what symbols this poem gives. So this poem symbolizes happiness and joy for the speaker. In here C is used as a symbolism because it gives happiness and joy to the speaker. So this is all about your poem. In today's online class, your teacher is going to discuss the question answers and back exercises of this chapter. So I hope you understood till the time. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.